Hi, it's Evie. I have a question. Do you find yourself saying the same things your mom or your parents said to you? I remember the day I was walking across the Walmart parking lot with my little girl, her hand in mine, and I heard her going, and I hadn't given her anything. She's 2. And I said, "What is in your mouth?" She goes, "Gum." And I said, "Let me see." So she spit it into my hand, and it was black on one side where it had been run over on the road and pink on the other side where it had been stuck to the road. So disgusting. And I said, "Do not pick anything up off the ground and put it in your mouth." She said, "Why?" I said, "Because I said so." And that is exactly what I found out that day, is I sound just like my mother. So I've written down a few things that my mother used to say. I suppose my dad said a few of them, but I'm going to share them with you and see if your mom said the same to you. Your face is going to freeze like that because I said so. Money doesn't grow on trees. Were you born in a barn? When I was your age, I walked to school in whatever. My father-in-law at one point took us past the school he went to in Iowa. We were up there for a funeral, and it was this little tiny building. I mean, I don't know, it might have been 13, 14 feet wide. There was one door, and there was a post, horizontal post out in the front. He said, "That is where I used to ride my horse, or I used to tie my horse when I would ride to school." Of course, it was in the snow, and it was uphill both ways. You'll understand when you get older. Don't make me have to pull this car over. I heard that a lot. Keep crying and I'll give you something to cry about. Heard that a lot. But there was 5 of us girls, so there was a lot of crying. If you can't say something nice, don't say anything at all. You'll poke an eye with it. You'll poke an eye out with that. This is a good one. Wear clean underwear in case you're in an accident. Now I have a story that actually happened. The first of it's a little scary, but it ends up okay. My parents were driving to the coast with my 4 sisters in the car, and my husband and I, 18 years old, were following behind them. And I noticed that Dad was kind of weaving from the line to the shoulder and back and forth, and I'm like, something is wrong. Like maybe there's a bee in the car or something, right? Well, eventually he pulls over and he gets out. He's kind of walking funny, but he goes over to the passenger side. My mom gets in the driver's side. And so I'm on, the right side of the car, the ditch side, and he's sitting there, but he hasn't swung his legs back inside yet. And so I'm talking to him and I'm noticing like one side of his face is kind of droopy and not working. So it ended up he was having a stroke. We went to a hospital in Reedsport, Oregon, which was a very, very small hospital, and it was old. And then they rolled him in on the gurney into where the doctors were. There's these 2 wood doors that swung, and you couldn't see through them except for this crack. And I walked up to that crack and I looked in there, and I could see his sock feet while he was laying on the gurney. And what did I think? Boy, I hope those are clean. And he's fine still today. Thank you for stopping by, and I look forward to next time. Bye.